Yep.
Welcome to Game 2. Central Penn College took the first game here of the doubleheader to run their winning streak to 5 games in a row to 15-10. Paul Miller and Nightly News Hall of Famer Parker Rose. You're going to be hearing from 2 Nightly News Hall of Famers today. In the second game, we'll be joined by Tyler Coleman here shortly. But Parker, thank you for joining us on this wonderful evening here on Community Night.
Well, thank you for having me, Paul. It's great to be back at the field. We have a beautiful night for baseball. Knights are wearing those black and orange uniforms, which are a really popular uniform for the season. Let's hope the Knights could sweep this doubleheader against their rival Christendom.
And Zach Boyer on the mound, often in the field because of his glove, but also is a fantastic pitcher in his own right. So let's see what Boyer has to give. And a shot right up the middle for Sullivan, and gets on base here, much like the first game.
Yeah, but we saw in the first game, Paul, that the starter got in a little bit of trouble, but once he settled in, he pitched a stellar game, and then Zach Haefner came in at the end to close it out. So I think the Knights will be okay here. Looks like we have a substitution already for Christendom.
So that is the, in the USCAA, catchers and pitchers are allowed to have courtesy runners, and Sullivan is the catcher in today's second game.
That's interesting. I was not aware of that.
Ball gets away from Haefner, and the wild pitch quickly puts a runner in scoring position. So can Boyer pitch around that first batter reaching base and getting to second?
That's a good strike on the corner there.
You know, one of the things that I wanted to bring up with you here today, Parker, we had the opportunity to call a night game, if you recall, out at In the Net, one of the more memorable games that I can personally recall calling.
I remember that one as well, Paul. That was one of my first games on In the Net calling. That was a great night for calling baseball. It was a little chilly, but nothing better than calling a game under the lights.
And I mean, even though it's 67 degrees here at game time, it is chilly where we're sitting behind home plate.
It is. Like we mentioned earlier, when the sun goes away here at the City Island, definitely causes shadows behind home plate and definitely makes a temperature difference.
3 balls, 1 strike on. And he gets the call there.
This will be a big strikeout here that Boyer would need here. I think that will help boost his confidence to settle in then.
Top of the first, Knights took the first game 3-1. Wyatt Kozer was the Nightly News Player of the game. 6 innings, only 1 earned run, and only 1 walk.
Yeah, Wyatt pitched a phenomenal game. He had a little trouble in the first inning, but he settled in perfect and did great. It was a great game all around for the Knights in that first game.
And there's a ball straight up. It's coming back behind us. Haefner's got a beat on it. And he can't come up with it. That's a really tough play. That wind took that ball. And hopefully that does not come back to haunt the Knights. Looking around the infield, you've got Hoover at first, Zell at second, Lowen at short, McCoy at third. It remains to be seen what the left side of the infield is going to be like without Zach Boyer, one of our better defensive players as well.
Yeah, like you said, Paul, that was a tough catch, but that was also a catch of Haefner that made. That would have been a phenomenal catch. Definitely tough with a little bit of wind left side. That gets through. We're going to have a play at the plate.
And he's coming around.
Got him.
Not a good throw, and quickly 1-0 after 2 batters. Knights trail.
Like the first game, this is what happened in the first game too, and we see how that played out. Let's hope the same results happen, that Boyer could settle in here and get out of this inning without any more damage.
Sullivan steps in. The senior hitting .432 on the season, 2 home runs and 21 RBI. Good first pitch strike.
Yep. Let's get a double. I think a double play here, Paul, would definitely really help Boyer on the mound and with his defense with his back. It's a good double play for him right here. Good pitch on the corner.
Gets the call. So there is one more home game on the season. It'll be this Sunday at East Pennsboro High School, doubleheader at 12 and 2. This is our last broadcast of the season, so we are happy to be a part of your viewing entertainment. A little high.
Outside, too.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, we've got as I mentioned, a cavalcade of broadcasters here with me today.
Oh, that's coming back.
Straight back behind us. Hopefully Brian Christiana is nowhere to be found. One ball and 2 strikes. This is a huge out here for Boyer.
Yes, it is.
And there's a shot. It's going to get over Zell's head into right field.
Oh, he misplayed in the outfield. That might bring home another run.
And they're waving him. And we have another play at the plate. And here's Zell. And
out. Oh, he dropped the ball.
Hang on to the ball.
I don't know, Paul. After getting up this run, do you think you have a meeting on the mound to try to calm Boyer down here?
I mean, that was a tough shot, but basically 3 runners up have all reached and 2 runs have scored. So, and Boyer looks to be clutching that arm. Certainly not what you want to see here early on.
No, you do not.
2-0 Knights trail with no one out. And that one's going to be to Zell. That will move the ball over.
He botched
Zell
it.
Get it.
He got it. He got a good pick by Hoover.
Good pick by Hoover.
Oh,
Going
got
across the diamond. So the first out there, Parker, is a step in the right direction, of course.
It is, but a couple defensive hiccups in the outfield and all. Definitely need to settle down that throughout the game. So.
So the 5-3 put out after the Sullivan double.
And we're going to have another play at the plate. Oh, another misplay behind the plate.
I don't think they had him there anyway.
I don't think so either, Paul. I think the guy from Christian was going to be safe regardless.
Quickly 3 in for Christendom in the top of the first. Not the start that the Knights were hoping for, and not the start that Boyer was hoping for here in his his final game at FNB Field. Just taking a look at Zach Boyer's stats, he has pitched so far this season and has pitched quite well.
I was just going to ask Paul, what's his pitching line?
So he has appeared in 2 games this season, does have a victory. In 6 2/3 innings, he's allowed no earned runs. So these runs he's allowed are his first of the season.
Ball gets away in the dirt.
Quick turnaround time between these 2 games. You got to wonder to what extent that could have impacted things.
Good pitch on good. Look like a fastball up.
Starting to
Inside. Is that getting down 2?
It will.
Another hit.
Coleman, no relation to Tyler Coleman, does reach base as Reese steps in with Christendom keeping the rally going. Three runs in here in the top of the first, thanks to 3 consecutive base hits and then 2 outs, and then Coleman with the
pickoff attempts.
Almost had him.
That's a good look because the Knights had 2 pickoffs last game. So
in 2 innings.
In 2 innings, yes. Definitely a pickoff could definitely be a good possibility here again. Good strike on the corner.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the top of the first. Knights trail 3-0.
Good pitch.
And he got the strike there. A big swing from Reese.
If I'm Boyer, I would just keep worrying about the batter, not that runner.
just off the plate with the slider.
Good looking pitch, just a bit outside.
And that was one in the first game that the umpire was calling.
Yes,
on that
he was.
outside
Yes,
corner.
he was. And it actually was a good pitch there. You want to try to get the guy to chase with 2 straight. There it is. Got him the chase.
Strikeout, and Boyer does get out of the inning. Unfortunately for the Knights, 3 runs across. So the Knights are going to have an uphill battle as we go to the bottom of the first. Knights trail 3-0. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back here with you in just. All right. Back here with you, bottom of the first, Paul Miller and Parker Rose. Nightly News Hall of Famer Parker Rose. And the Knights have an uphill battle to climb here, spotting Christendom a 3 spot.
They do have an uphill battle, Paul, but we did see in other games that they were down early and they came in battle. This offense is a good offense that has a lot of good hitters in it, and it starts with Zell. Zell definitely gets on. He could be a nightmare for pitchers with that speed.
25 steals on the season, Parker. 1 caught stealing. Pretty good numbers.
And he had a couple nice swings at the bat, like 2 line back at the pitcher and all. So don't mistake his size for power.
It's the strike call.
And we also know, like you mentioned with Zell, have 25 stolen bases. We know that Coach Stern loves to be aggressive on the base pads.
And there's a shot
And Zell
by
is
Zell.
on.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered,
That
a
is
single.
very key to that at bat. And I would not be surprised if Coach Stern has Zell go in motion here.
So Paul Amuso, the freshman, he has appeared in 7 games, started 2, he's 0-2.
Now batting number 30, your Frandy Montero.
How about this, Parker? 35 runs allowed in 16 innings for a 14.33 ERA.
Let's see if the Knights could get to him early. Pitch out on the first pitch.
I think they've got Zell scouted. I will say in the first game, he went on the first move.
And when I was sitting up in the stands, I told the students around me saying he's going to go first pitch here.
Quickly 2 balls.
Definitely hard as a pitcher to concentrate on the batter when you have to worry about the speed of Zell on base.
Of course, Montero, no slouch in terms of speed himself. Jeff Randy Montero hitting 310.
We're at 3-0 here.
That breeze is definitely stiffened up somewhat.
Yes, it is. The flags out in the outfield are definitely moving. Strike just on the corner.
That was a pitch that Boyer did not get.
I was ready to say I thought Montero was going to walk down the first on that pitch.
I think he thought the same thing. The 3-1. Zell goes. Well, he bluffs going. And Montero took strike 2. Knights now at 15-10 on the season, still in play for the most wins in I almost said franchise, in school history. And that's going to be a potential double play ball.
Oh, he muffed it. Safe all around, though, with the misplay at second base.
And that is a huge play.
I saw when the ball left the third baseman, it looked like it was a bad throw to had to be picked. So now you had two on, no outs. Definitely a big opportunity here for the Knights to start chipping away at this lead, chipping away at the deficit early.
Kaufman has had a heck of a season, hitting 406.
Ball gets away, and they're both on the move.
Wild pitch puts 2 runners in scoring position. As I mentioned, Kaufman hitting 406 on the season with 20 RBIs, third on the team, and he's got speed with 13 steals. So this is the guy you want up here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul, left center has a nice gap. That it'd be nice to get a ball out there to bring 2. Well, I actually think a base hit.
And that is going to be to deep center.
That will
for sure
the
score
cell
a run.
speed, that will score. Montero holds, but definitely will take a run there. And that's key there, Paul, for Knights to score there, because that should help settle Boyer down. That he knows that his offense is behind him to give him some run support here.
And one phrase you don't get to hear so much with the DH in the National League, but Boyer can help his own cause here.
Yes, he can.
Tying run up at the plate.
He's a really good hitter, too.
Leads the team in home runs and RBI, as well as hits, and a .462 batting average.
That was a curveball that just came right across the middle. I think one that Boyer was taking all the way there, Paul.
The 0-1 to Boyer.
Low.
Way downstairs. McCoy on deck, who's been one of the bright spots of the Knights this season in his freshman year. Wind is picked up. It's now 65 degrees. And big hack from Boyer comes up empty.
I don't think he was expecting that pitch there, Paul, on that one. I think he was looking for something else.
He's in the hole 1 and 2. And that gets away from the catcher. And Montero walks to third, essentially. I don't know if he thought it hit Boyer, but the catcher didn't chase after the ball.
I was thinking the same thing, Paul. I thought Boyer was hit on that pitch.
I mean, I'm sure Boyer would have preferred that.
Absolutely.
But again, now he has another shot with a runner at third and only 1 out. Another sac fly would make it 3-2.
Side fly would be very nice here, but base hit would be better.
High.
Just a bit high. But it's a good take. And a hitter's count at 3-2.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Oh, and that nearly hit him.
That was a very good at bat by Boyer.
We'll take the free pass, though, and bring up Tanner McCoy with runners on first and third. Courtesy run for Boyer. So this is a rule in USCAA. Pitchers and catchers are allowed to have a free pinch runner without having to take them out of the game, should the coach decide to do so. McCoy and then Joseph on deck.
I wonder if Stern's going to call a steal here to try to avoid the double play possibility.
In all honesty, based on my experience, I would say yes.
Yeah.
It's almost an automatic.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the Knights are very aggressive on that base pad, so I will not be surprised if they take off here.
McCoy takes the first pitch. One thing I was actually really surprised about between games is how quickly the Knights were able to change jerseys.
Absolutely.
Almost like Superman. There was about a 10-minute break, and they were already in their new jerseys. And there he goes.
And the ball gets away. We're going to have a...
Montero comes home. No slide.
That's a recipe to doctor order right there. Wild pitch and a stolen base and a ball. Can't call anything better than that right there.
Montero scores, making it 3-2. So that 3-run deficit to start the game has been cut down to 1, and the Knights are still in business. And there's a shot to center. And what a great catch. Center field. They're going to call him out, and I think that's the right call there.
That was a great catch by the center fielder.
That's Tom Sullivan with an unbelievable catch out in center field that easily saved a run, because if that ball gets by him there, Tyler, Fulton, who's pinch running for Boyer, is coming all the way around.
Because that ball was probably going to go all the way to the wall if he didn't pick up with that.
Because McCoy smoked it.
Yes, he did. Low.
Now batting number 13, Nick Joseph.
Adam Hoover on deck.
Nice to see Hoover. Hoover's actually been in a walking boot for the last month.
Really?
And is gutting it out here to play tonight.
He's a heck of a player. Good teammate. Has heart. Loves the game. Definitely a great player.
A little bit out in front of that. Fouls it off. Nearly into the Christendom dugout. Knights picked up a win in the first game, 3-1, behind a masterful performance by Wyatt Kozer. 3 consecutive starts without allowing more than 1 earned run to Parker.
That's awesome. That's good quality starts out there, and definitely would. And that gets through. And Stern's sending him. Oh no, he held him. He was thinking about it.
Held him with 2 outs.
So some people may would disagree with that call, but it is early in the game, so I understand why he held him, but
Hoover is such a good on-base guy that I'm sure that had something into the equation.
He got hit by a pitch first game, walked twice, right? What's the last game, Paul? First game?
I believe he was 1 for 2.
I know he got a hit.
Game. And that is going to be back at us. And of course, to Parker's point, you can always go to centralpennknights.com to check out the box score and live stats of all of the contests that we play.
On deck, we got the pitcher who got the save in game 1, Zach Haefner, who's also doing the catching for game 2.
One of our 7 seniors that will be playing their final game at FMB Field here today. And
Hoover
there he
shows bunt and
goes.
goes. Safe.
So they cut that one off because something the Knights do a lot. If it's first and third, they steal, and then once the ball goes to second, break for home.
I really enjoy seeing the aggressive base running by the Knights.
That's going to be
Another
outside.
one in the dirt.
One ball, no strikes, 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning.
Another one, though.
Counts 3-1. A base hit from Hoover would score at least 1, if not 2. Got a lot of speed on the base pass. Another ball low, and Hoover will load the bases.
We got a big spot here for Haefner with bases loaded. Definitely a big, nice RBI opportunity here.
Now
3-2, Knights
batting
trail, but the
number 0,
bases are
Zach
loaded.
Haefner.
In his last game at FMB Field, can Zach Haefner break this game open? Takes a ball outside. And Amuso is not happy about that call.
Yeah, but we seen also when Boyer was on the mound, Paul, that the ump was not calling that strikes either.
It's going to be low. 6 consecutive balls for Amuso. Just caught the inside corner.
I thought that one was a little off the plate, but
Bases full of Knights here. 2-1. It's going to be outside for 3 balls, 1 strike. And I'll tell you what, if Haefner can take a walk here to tie up this game, you know he will.
absolutely. Any way you can.
The 3-1. And he swings, and that's going to get down.
That's gonna
Just over the
that
first
might-
baseline. Here comes 1 run. Here comes 2. And Zach Haefner with a game to take the lead for the Knights. The double from Haefner, one of his biggest hits of the season.
You could wipe out that misplay in the first inning, but that catch, I thought it came back. Zach Haefner just helped himself there, with pick up a couple RBIs there to give the Knights a 1-run lead.
What a clutch base hit for Zach Haefner.
Looks like we have a runner for Haefner as well.
Now batting number 7, Brian Lowen.
4 runs across for the Knights here in this inning, and still threatening.
And the other good thing about this inning extending, Paul, is gives Boyer a rest and a break to settle in, collect his thoughts, and be back for the next half.
And if nothing else, even if Lowen can't reach here, they'll start off at the top of the order again in the second. And this is going to be a tough play. This is going to be a really tough play.
And they said he's safe. And the run scores, Hoover scores. And the Knights are batting around.
Fantastic first inning. Knights lead 5-3.
Now batting number 11, Owen Zell.
Which brings it back to the top of the order for Zell.
And we got a runner. Safe. And they're coming home. And he's safe. Another run. Safe. Great base running by the Knights.
Tyrone Tobin was the pinch runner, a heads-up play, and he came around to score.
I think all the confidence are now in that Knights dugout. You love to see it.
So that would be for Haefner's position, and really just an ill-advised throw by the catcher for Christendom. And again, the Knights bat around and put 6 up in the first.
And the good
Zell
bunt.
throws his bat just out of play.
That was a good play, good call there to bunt, because with Zell's speed, that... I will not be surprised if we see it again.
We were a little concerned about the top of the first, only for the Knights to come back and put 6 runs up here in the bottom of the first and still threaten with a runner in scoring position. And that's going to be a tough one as well.
He misbobbled it. And a safe all around.
This has been a really tough inning for the Christendom defense.
Yeah, their defense.
Now batting number 30, Yafrani Montero.
How about Zell 2 for 2 in the first inning?
So it was good when you get your leadoff hitter on, Paul.
And I expect him to be running here.
So do I.
And looks like they do as well.
I'm going to mention, I'm actually surprised that Christendom didn't consider doing a mound visit with all the hits and defensive errors, and especially with the batting around.
Well, we talked about Amuso's struggles this year.
We did,
and
that's
a shot by Montero.
Another run for the Knights. And then this bobbled out and left, but recovered.
And this is what we're talking about. (7-3) here in the first. And the Knights have stormed back here for a record-long first inning.
It looks like we're having a mound visit for Christendom.
You know, for as quickly as that first game went, it looks like the second game is going to be just a bit slower.
I was just ready to say that, Paul. And it looks like the pitcher's departing after two-thirds of an inning.
7 earned. Well, hey, we're going to take a short break. Paul Miller, Parker Rose will be right back. Welcome back. Paul Miller, Parker Rose here. Is still in the first inning here, and a pitching change for the Christendom Crusaders as Gus Coleman comes in. We'll take a look at Gus's numbers here in a minute.
Oh, we got a big jump by Zell. Hope Kaufman's okay after that one. He hit it and it fouled right off his, looks like his leg.
Gus Coleman has appeared in 6 contests, started 2. He's 1-1 in 11 2/3 innings. He's allowed 19 earned runs for a 14.66 ERA. And Kaufman still trying to walk it off.
Hopefully he's okay.
Always a difficult situation when you foul a ball off your foot. In fact, there have been a couple of people who went to the IL with broken bones in their foot from fouling a ball off of it in major leagues.
Yeah, they're checking his shin, it looks like.
And unfortunately, we saw Kevon Davis exit the first contest due to a leg injury. We hope he is doing well. And hopefully it's nothing overly serious, but it did not look good in the first game. So we haven't even gotten out of the first, and we've scored more than double the amount of runs than we had in the first game. But it looks like Kaufman is...
Looks like he's going to be okay, and he's going to stay in the game.
Kaufman will stay in. No balls and 1 strike with 2 down.
He's all right. It's good to see he's okay and go back in the box. Now let's get a base knock here.
And the Knights still threatening with runners at first and second. And, of course, Zell's speed and Montero as well on the base paths with Boyer on deck.
Yeah, definitely a base hit here. Paul will definitely bring home 1 for sure.
Does get the call. No balls and 2 strikes. So can Coleman get out of this jam? What an offensive output for the Knights.
So then we got the dugouts excited.
And that ball's going to get away.
And they both go.
That was going to be a double steal anyway, but of course, catcher had no chance.
But now that brings the opposite. Base hit could bring 2 now instead of 1.
One ball, 2 strikes. And this is going to be a tough play. Comes up.
God, the inning is over.
Gets it out, but that's not before the Knights bat around and score 7 runs on 5 hits here in the first inning.
Definitely a great inning that the Knights were looking for.
And you know what that means. It's time to stop over at the merch table. We have a lot of great stuff here. T-shirts, sweatshirts, quarter zips. Look at this sharp new hat. That's pretty nice there. Get one of these great hats right at the merch table. Socks.
Back here with you from FNB Field. Top of the second inning, Knights lead 7-3 Paul Miller and Parker Rose for the first part of this contest. We'll be joined by Tyler Coleman here the second part. Nightly News Hall of Famers, both.
Now batting number 15, John Scuba.
And Scuba now up to bat for his first at-bat of the day, and that's going to be out of play.
I think we're going to see Boyer settle in here, Paul, now since he has a nice lead, had a long inning to recover. I think he bounced back this inning.
Well, and you wonder, now he was batting and he did get out there.
That was a nice pitch.
But I will say, you have to wonder for a long inning like that, 11 batters to the plate, you got to wonder if that will impact his pitching, but so far it doesn't seem so.
That was another nice pitch there, trying to get him to chase there. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And here comes that win. Full count. And the last thing Boyer wants to do here is put the leadoff man on. And this is going to be a tough play. Zell has to wait on it. Over to first.
Great play by Zell. A good play over there at first for Hoover. Definitely the out the Knights want to start getting with. It's good to get that first out. Don't have to worry about getting the lead batter on base. Now let's do the rest of this do-up. Paul Amuso is up at the plate. Good pitch.
It's like they left Amuso in for Regis, who was initially in the starting lineup. I suppose because he was pulled, they left him in for his bat. And, Christendom, they have an uphill battle to climb moving forward. Coming into this, today 10-16, now 10-17.
They peeled down the first, and he went on that pitch.
They have 2 games on Sunday against Williamson Tree to close out their season, and I believe with that first victory, that clinches at least a berth in the ESAC title game for the Knights.
That's always great news. Hopefully, I'm sure the team will love to have that success of last year and repeat itself.
And then, like I said,
they have the talent to do it.
They want to get to the Small College World Series, and they absolutely still have a chance if they can put together some victories this weekend in ESAC competition. 4 games in a row against Manor College, including 2 on Sunday and 2 on Monday. So nothing like the old 2-day, 4-game set. So I think that's part of the reason you're seeing Boyer pitch today is because they're essentially running low on starters. Kohler pitched on Tuesday, which would line him up to pitch on one of the games on Sunday. Of course, we saw Kozer. Zerby left his last start Tuesday with an injury. I don't know what his status is. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Definitely getting down to the end of the season. You do need all hands on deck if you want to make a push for the Small College. What a play by Zell. What a play by Zell and a good pick by Hoover. If they had gold gloves in this league, that definitely is a gold glove caliber play right there.
Well, I will tell you, I do name a gold glove player from the Knights in my postseason awards column, so that will go noted for Owen Zell.
Zell definitely is a nominee on that play like that.
Another put out 4-3, 2 back-to-back plays from
smoke
Zell.
back.
And hopefully there's nobody over there. Knights lead 7-3. It's 2 down. And that's going to be
another good
to McCoy. And he's got a cannon.
And another. Wow, we just saw 2 Sports Center top 10 possible plays in the last 2 plays.
What a play from Tanner McCoy at the hot corner. A big play to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Boyer. And we are going to go to the bottom of the second. Knights lead 7-3. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in Paul Miller and the Nightly News Hall of Famer Parker Rose back here with you. We're going to go to the bottom of the second. We will be joined here by Parker until the end of the third, top of the fourth. And then we'll be joined by Tyler Coleman. Brings up the pitcher, Zach Boyer, for his second at-bat in 2 innings. He walked and scored back in the in the first.
Ooh,
It almost got hit.
threw right at him.
Looked like it might have gotten him, but
I
did
thought
not
it
get
did.
the base. Coleman hits the strike 1-1. And that wind is starting to pick up. The 1-1 pitch from Coleman. And there's a shot.
That's
to
dropping.
Right center. A single for Boyer.
Knights picking up right where they left off last inning. Get the lead man on base. That brings McCoy to the plate.
And, keep an eye out for Boyer, although he is going to be pinch run 4 by Fulton. So is Fulton going to have the green light to run?
I would be surprised if he doesn't.
Now batting number 43, Tanner McCoy.
And McCoy flew out
Off the
in the
count.
first. Someone not too happy in the background. Nothing to cry about.
That's big.
And the third baseman has had a lot of trouble with these catches and almost overplayed it again.
I wonder, Paul, it's probably difficult battling that sun on the field still.
There's no question about that,
Especially
Parker.
game one. Game 1, too, we saw a couple.
Brings up Joseph, who singled and scored
Now
in the
batting number
first.
13, Nick Joseph.
Just catches the outside corner.
Wonder if the Knights are going to get motion here.
We'll find out here in a second.
Nope. Still staying at first.
Slider off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now is when those shadows start to creep out beyond home plate.
Definitely makes it difficult.
Low runs the count to 1-2.
Is it 1-2 or 2-1, Paul?
2-1. My apologies. Although it's tough to go by the scoreboard.
It is.
It's
That's
not
why.
always under
Oh, that
pressure.
hits him.
Right in the back.
Oh.
Joseph trots down to first after the bruise-inducing hit by pitch.
And that brings up Adam Hoover to the plate. Who I could imagine on the stats has a great on-base percentage for the year.
Now batting number 33, Adam Hoover.
Well over 400, Parker.
Pickoff attempt, but he's back. (7-3) Knights. We're here in the top of the second still. Adam Hoover up to bat with 2 men on and 1 out. I think Hoover wanted that pitch back because after it was called a strike, he kind of went.
Hoover walked back in the first and then scored. one of the 7 put up by the Knights.
1-1's the count.
With base hit from Hoover, could score a run. That's going to be out of play.
Out. Oh!
Back into the suite.
Hit off the gentleman's hand, the blue hat. What a good effort. Yeah, Zach Haefner on deck.
The 1-2 pitch. Way upstairs. Yeah, so that's a good question. You'd ask me about the statistics for Hoover. While he only has a 176 average, how about a 417 on base? Definitely one of the calling cards of Hoover's game. Unfortunately, he's missed a lot of time with a leg injury, but is well enough to play here today.
That's coming back.
Again, that's a spot where a lot of people often congregate.
Oh,
Way
gets away,
outside.
and that's going to move the runners to second and third. Wonder how many wild pitches already that's for Christendom.
At least 3. There was a wild pitch back to Kaufman. There was a wild pitch to Boyer. And then that would be wild pitch number 3. The 2-2. And that's going to be right at short.
Oh, misplay. Oh,
And
they got him to run
him.
down. Oh, safe all around. Another missed defensive play by Christendom. That falls in the Knights' favors, where the Knights now lead 8-3.
And you know what, Parker? They had that played perfectly. He was
They
in on the
did.
grass. All he had to do was come home with the ball, and he couldn't get the ball out of his glove to come home.
Now batting 00, Zach Haefner.
But you also mentioned, Paul, the third baseman Christendom is having a hard time today. That brings Zach Haefner up the bat. Zach Haefner had 2 RBIs his last at-bat, so he could definitely help himself again here in a good spot.
8-3, Knights lead.
Check swing. He did not go. 2-0's the count.
Joseph still at third. We've got Hoover at first. Only 1 out.
Strike.
And Haefner takes the strike.
Hoover has a nice size lead at first, and he's going. I think they got him. Yep.
And you got to give Hoover a lot of credit there because he is on a bum wheel, but did get caught stealing. I think they were trying to do the old first to home play, and it's just a good throw by the catcher
It
there
was.
for Christendom. Sullivan behind the plate. And Haefner. Gets the call. Full count. 3-2, 2 outs. Runner on third. Knights lead 8-3. It's going to be
Coming
right
back.
back at us. Out of play.
We got a holy roller. Now we got a race for the ball.
Hey, you can get discounts on merch with the return foul balls. Another full count.
And Haefner walks.
Haefner has reached base 2 times, and now it's back up to Lowen, who singled and drove in a run back in the first to keep the rally going.
Are they going to run for Haefner again?
It appears so.
In a meeting of the minds with the umpires.
So Haefner comes out for the courtesy runner. Didn't see who is in to run for the Knights. Looks like Tobin again, who had that amazing play back in the first. Heads up play and the head first slide. Lowen out of play.
Look out, sweet. Oh, hit off the hand again.
And that lady had a kid in her hand. I gotta tell you, good job. I think that might have been Athletic Director Casey Hicks's daughter. Let's hope not.
Pickoff attempt, he's back.
Beautiful afternoon, evening here at FNB Field for our last broadcast of the season. It has been our pleasure to get to call the games for you. Unfortunately, we won't be on the air with you on Sunday, but you can check out the home finale at East Penn High School this Sunday at noon. Ironically enough, our third home venue on the season between FNB in the net and East Penn. And that will retire the side as Lowen strikes out, but not before the Knights tack on another run. It's 8-3 as we go to the top of the third.
Back in action here. Boyer's still on the mound. Parker Rose, Paul Miller here. We're in the top of the third, and that's a hit out to the outfield, but it's easily played by the center fielder for the first out of the inning. As mentioned before, it's always key to get the leadoff batter of the inning out.
Now batting number 11, Thomas Sullivan.
Good first pitch by Hoover there. Thomas Sullivan, the batter for Christendom, in an 0-1 count. One out. Knights lead 8-3 here in the top of the third.
Sullivan singled and scored back in the first. Or excuse me, doubled and scored back in the first. What's up? Inside, runs the count to 2-1.
Back Zell. Good play. Over to Hoover for the second out of the inning. Good play there.
I'll tell you, Zell has had some fantastic plays in the field today.
Yes, he has, Paul. Yes, he has.
Nightly News Hall of Famer Brian Christiana has joined us.
You know what, Paul? I see Tyler always laughing when you guys give me some type of credit. So, you know what? Tyler?
Because, Brian, I want to be the one to give you the credit.
I'm coming for you. Like Mr. T said to Rocky. Coming for you.
Well, in your defense, Brian, you were in the Hall of Fame before the two of them.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Paul.
Wow.
I pity them.
That's because we were not eligible at the time.
Oh,
we
Paul,
were still
make your
students.
excuses. Make your excuses.
And
Oh.
there is a shot to deep left. That's going to
Over
be
the
off
head.
the wall. Hits off the top of the
Cook a
fence.
good.
Oh, he missed the cut. Wow, what a shot, Paul.
I
Man.
will say though, reluctantly, that took the bounce off the wall into the glove and didn't go rolling because we could have had some serious trouble.
Parker, you look like you're dressed for the last field trip or something.
Hey,
It's
I'm
a little
not
chi-
called out.
It's
I'm
a little
cold.
cool behind the home plate
Man
here,
up.
Brian.
Tyler looks like he's ready for a Boy Scout trip.
What?
Of course, the wonderful color commentary of Brian Christiana.
We apologize to our viewers for having to listen to that.
And there's another shot to deep left, but it looks
Looks
like
like-
Montero's got it.
And that double didn't need no harm for the Knights.
So we are going to go to the bottom of the third, and the Knights still lead 8-3. We're going to take a short break. Back here with you, Paul Miller and Parker Rose from F&B Field. We're here in the bottom of the third inning. For the third consecutive inning, Owen Zell will lead things off.
He's 2 for 2 today, Paul.
Big
Big cuck there. Give Zell credit. He's had a great game so far. Amazing playing in the field. 2 for 2 at the plate.
2 singles, 2 runs, and his 26th stolen base.
No, it's big cut. I know it's a little early in the game, but possibly Knights player of the game to watch.
Well, you know, he's going to have an uphill battle solely because Zach Boyer is pitching and has hit well as well. And that's going to be
That's going to get through
all.
a 3 for 3 day for Zell. And he's thinking 2. Nope.
That's about as wide of a first base turn as you can get. So 3 consecutive hits for Owen Zell.
I really like the production out of the top 2 hitters between Zell and Montero. They hit the ball well, got on base, and did their jobs with their speed. Montero shows bunt, but pulls back.
Montero also 2 singles, a steal, and an RBI.
Pick
They
off
had
the
him
10,
leaning.
and Zell got back.
Not by much.
It looks like the pitcher for Christendom is not too happy on that. He's looked at the umpire. He thought he had him. Back again. Zell's there.
And Zell didn't even bother with the slide that time. Huge secondary lead there for Zell. It's going to be out of play.
Oh.
First baseman had a chance, but unfortunately,
The catcher for Christendom was sent up outside. I didn't think that was. They were looking to try to see if for a pitch out, and Montero just got a hold of the pitch.
and Montero 1-1.
Long look over at Zell. Even with the sun still going down, Paul, it's still 63 degrees out.
Certainly doesn't feel that warm down here, Parker.
It does not. And that gets through. Another hit.
Quickly, 2 base runners. That's both of the top 2 in the order are 3 for 3.
Love to see it, Paul. You love to see it. And that brings Kaufman up with a
Now batting
RBI
number
opportunity
34.
with the speed, with the 2 speed demons on the base. With pitcher Zach Boyer on deck. Low.
I'll tell you, Christendom has really struggled on the mound today.
Infield. And it drops. They let it. And they got Zell.
That was definitely an odd play there. But nonetheless, an out.
You wonder there, Paul, did they actually lose it in the sun or were they purposely letting it drop?
I think they were probably letting it drop to try to get Zell's speed off of the base pass, and which.
But I will say, Zell made it close at third, though. With
For
that,
sure. But Montero's, equally as fast. Oh, and he nearly plunks him. And quickly another second and third situation with Boyer at the plate.
And they got Park on deck.
Brady Park will come in for McCoy. Not sure what they're going to do with their defensive alignment here.
Ooh,
Way
hit him in the
inside again,
oh,
right in the shin. So they're going to send Montero back to third because that loads the bases.
We just hope that Boyer's okay, because that's definitely discomforting.
Especially in his final game.
He appears to be okay.
Either way, he's going to come out regardless for a pinch runner.
He does have a
Now
limp.
batting number 28, Brady Park.
Who remains to be seen how that's going to impact
I'm checking
pitching.
I'm checking the bullpen for the Knights. I don't see any stretching yet. Tossing. Back
Park
at
fouls it
us.
straight back.
Big opportunity here for Park. Bases loaded. 1 out. Good RBI opportunity for Brady Park. Off the plate. Joseph on deck.
The 1-1.
Got the
Touches
corner.
outside corner. One ball, 2 strikes. Knights lead 8-3 with the bases loaded.
Poker.
This is gonna
That's
be
gonna be
a
a really
tough
tough play. Park beats it out and grabs an RBI. Knights now lead 9-3.
Now batting number 13, Nick Joseph.
And the bases are still loaded as the Knights lead by 6. There's a shot to center. Pretty much no matter what, that's going to score a run. Another run in with the sacrifice fly for Nick Joseph.
10-3. That brings Adam Hoover up to the plate with 2 on and 2 outs.
Now batting number 33, Adam Hoover.
Infield's playing in, or the outfield's playing shallow.
(10-3) Knights lead.
Outside.
Hoover reached base on a walk and an error. Was caught stealing back in the second, but scored a run in the first. Downstairs. And Hoover, this will be his last contest here at FNB Field. Glad to see he's able to play today through the leg injury he's been dealing with for the last few weeks. And they had him dead to
And
right
it's
to
in the
first.
outfield.
But that was a terrible throw down to first base, and that's going to advance the runners.
That puts second and third. Now you have an RBI opportunity for Hoover with 2 men in scoring position.
Just an awful throw from the catcher, Sullivan, who has made a great throw on Hoover earlier in his game, but that wasn't even close.
That's been the story of the game for Christendom, Paul. They've been having errors all around on the defense. Third base, short, second.
Well, it's not even so much that, Parker.
Even
Wild
the pitching,
pitches,
too.
I mean,
I was getting to that point, too. The pitching's been off.
10-3, and the Knights threaten.
And Hoover
a walk.
raising that on-base percentage again with another walk.
So Hoover has been on base 3 times. And now the bases are loaded for Zach Haefner.
Now batting 0-0, Zach Haefner.
Looks like Stern's do something here. He's coming. Looks like we're going to pitch run for Hoover.
So Hoover will be pinch run 4, and that will probably do it for Hoover. So Hoover reached base 3 times in his final game.
Number 35 coming on the pitch run.
35, Dominic Bruce. And Zach Haefner has a chance to break this game wide open. (10-3).
It came back across the plate.
Good framing by Sullivan. That's a polite way to say that that was not a strike. Going to be low and outside. Haefner's last game as well. Certainly a bittersweet day here tonight, Parker. Not only just because it's our last broadcast of the season, but also because several Knights will not play another game here at FNB Field.
Yeah, but all those seniors had a great day. They're all talented and wish them nothing but the best in their future endeavors. But they still have a chance to have a season left with the ESAC Championship and hopefully the Small College World Series bid.
And they'll always be Knights in our heart, Parker.
Absolutely.
What can Haefner do here? 2 balls and a strike. It's going to be out of play.
Going up to the swing again. Oh. And Dr. Fedrizzi's husband went for an effort catch. And
2 balls, 2 strikes to Haefner. The bases loaded.
coming up.
That's going to be popped up. This is going to be a tough play for the first baseman. He does come up with it, and that will retire the side, but not before the Knights can tack on another 2. We're going to go to the top of the 4th inning. Knights lead by 7. Anyway, back here with you, top of the 4th inning. And Parker, this will be your last half inning on the broadcast, and certainly we appreciate you and all your efforts. Zach Boyer has left this contest.
Yeah, it's now number 3.
3 earned runs. This is going to bring in Dylan Youngins. Youngins has appeared in 4 contests on the season and 4.2 innings pitched. He is allowed 2 earned runs for the 3.86 ERA. And as a senior, this is also his last contest. Unfortunately, Knights fans, we did see Kevon Davis in crutches. So that is not a good situation. Don't infer anything by that. I don't have any other reports other than my own eyes. However, never a good thing to see a ball player not out of his uniform and on crutches after an injury.
No, but we hope the best for Kevon, and hopefully it's nothing really serious that he could be back out in the field.
Definitely a key piece to the potential future for the Knights, and a whole host of changes here we'll try to keep you updated with. Looks like Dominic Bruce is over at first. Dylan Youngins has come in to pitch.
And Boyer moved to 3rd, it looks like.
So Boyer does get the start, and other than that first inning, it was a little rocky.
Ooh.
Almost took you out.
Now batting number 14, Will Coleman.
Number 14 there. Coleman. Again, they've got Will Coleman. I've got Gus Coleman on my sheet, so hard to say which one is accurate.
Maybe it's a nickname.
It's possible.
William Gus the Bus Coleman.
It is, anything is possible these days. 1 ball, 1 strike from Youngins. And there's a shot
good
to
hit.
center, but right at him.
He calling it. Easy play in center.
I'm not sure who he was calling it off because there was no one within 70 feet of him.
I was thinking the same thing, Paul, but it might be just a habit and an instinct of a baseball
You know what?
player in the outfield.
I will never forget when I was in Little League, and for some reason this still registers with me, our coaches told us if we called a ball, they would give us $5. Every time that we called a ball in the field, they would give us $5, and they did. And so you know that we were calling every single time, even if it was a line drive at us, we were calling it.
Hey, rewarding for good, positive behavior. And communication is one of the key things in baseball.
Youngins upstairs. He's got some electric stuff, but, you know, just from these few pitches we've seen him thus far, not quite in the strike zone to this point.
A little wild, yep. But definitely has a...
There's a shot to left, and this is going to be tough for Montero. But with his speed, he gets there.
What a catch. That was a really nice catch by Montero out there. Definitely a tough play out in the left field. You're chasing the ball like that. And
back-to-back outs. So, Parker, before you head on out of here, we certainly thank you so much for being a part of the Nightly News broadcast, and we would certainly love to have you back again sometime in the future. Of course, we do basketball. You're certainly welcome to any of those games, but you're such a valuable member of our team as a Nightly News Hall of Famer.
Well, it's always great to be back to be able to call baseball, Paul. I appreciate you reaching out to me and reminding me about community night. I had it on my calendar circle, and I'm glad to be able to call a game. And now since I moved down in the area, definitely could be more of a possibility. I could actually come take a day off, half day of work, and definitely come over to the ballpark, give Steve or Professor Davis a break.
Yeah, and I'll tell you too, we'll have to get together a lot more now that you're closer
Absolutely
to the area.
Yep.
Of course, we'll talk about that off the air. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And there's another shot to center. But all three right at the outfielders. And that will retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning for Youngins. And again, Parker, thank you so much for your time and joining us here in the first half of the second game.
It was great to be here, Paul. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much to Nightly News Hall of Famer Parker Rose. We'll be coming back with Nightly News Hall of Famer Tyler Coleman. And all right, Paul Miller and Tyler Coleman back here with you. And Lowen steps in. as the Knights comfortably ahead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 10-3. That's right back up the box. And Lowen with a single. That's 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI. Tyler, such a pleasure to have you back. Of course, we did get to hear from you during the basketball season when you and Brian got to do a game.
It's always great to be back here with you, Paul, on a beautiful night here to call some Knights baseball. Got off to a little bit of a slow start in this one, but nice to see the offense really get going here.
100% too. That bottom of the 1st inning was one of the not only just longest innings that I recall, but one of the best batting around. Sent 11 men to the plate there.
Yeah, not every day you're going to see that many hitters in the 1st inning.
And here's Fulton. Just outside. Yeah, the Christendom pitching struggles have been evident, not so much in the 1st game, but certainly here. The starting pitcher, Musso, didn't even escape the 1st inning.
Yeah, I know. I believe bottom of the 1st inning, you guys were talking about he had a 14 ERA, so Knights were able to get to him a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's even safe to say for the Christendom team, they've got several pitchers with ERA. In fact, really, Scuba is the only pitcher with anything under a 6 ERA. Scuba number 15 we have not seen today.
I will say this, to be fair to their pitching staff a little bit, they haven't, at least in this game, haven't really had the best defensive plays behind them, so it can be tough when your defense is putting on base runners.
The pitch, way outside, Fulton swings and is retired. So Fulton in for Zell.
Now batting number 30, Yefrani Montero.
Zell leaves this game 3 for 3. Montero 3 for 3 with an RBI and a steal. And that's way back, but out of bounds. Out of play. I was in my football mindset there.
That was close, though.
He got most of that one.
Just a little out in front.
We are in the bottom of the 4th with the Knights comfortably ahead. There are some... he's going out there again.
Trying again.
Yep. A couple of arms loosening in the Central Penn bullpen. Of course, we can't see who's out there from our vantage point.
I give a ton of credit to Zach Boyer, though. Got hit around a little bit in the 1st inning, but was able to settle down and really shut down Christendom's offense after that.
It's like Harvey McLean warming up in the bullpen, number 55. Getting our team on this to see who's out there.
Great work here by Parker.
Like Owen Zell. And there's a shot to center. And looks like that one's going to be caught. It was a hit and run on. So Zell comes out of the game, but can re-enter as a pitcher.
Definitely want to give a shout out to Parker here. What a great job he did in the first 3.5 innings of this game. Always nice to hear him on the baseball broadcast.
Two down. Still a runner on first. Lowen over there on first base as Montero breaks his 3 consecutive hits. And Boyer on deck. It's going to be out of play over to the first base side.
Seen a lot of foul balls hit over that way. They might have him picked here. No.
What a play by Lowen.
Looked like they might have had him in the pickoff, but was able to get in there.
Heads up play to get to second base. I suppose you would call that a steal?
I would think so.
I'm not sure what the official call on that one is. We'll give him a stolen base there. The 1-1. This is going to be a shot to right, and this should retire the side. That's a long run over there.
It was. It was
For
a nice
the right
catch.
fielder, but comes up with it does O'Hara. That's going to do it for the top of the fourth. We're going to go to the bottom of the fourth. Knights. Well, Tyler, since we do have a moment to chat,
fans, we're down here on the first
and
base
Brian's
side
going to
for
steal our
final
thunder.
competition of the night. I got some guys from
We'll
CB
leave
over
it
here.
go to
Go,
see what Brian
For
comes up
our
with.
hat scramble here at Abbee Field. We're going to take a look at the big board there in right field. We're going to see the hat scramble around, and you guys decide which one it is.
He's
all right?
really in his rail rider.
All right, here we go.
I'm not getting paid for this.
Back here with you. We are here in the bottom of, excuse me, the
Now
top of the
batting
fifth.
number 22, Paul Amuso.
Musso in there, and Youngins
Oh, wow.
just out of play. Fulton probably should have had that. Just was tough to see off the bat. And, you know, still a number of outs to get yet. 9 more the Knights need to get out of here with a sweep. As the bottom of the order of Musso reaches base
Now
here in the
batting
top of the
number 2,
fifth.
Peter Sullivan.
And back to the top of the order as Sullivan 1-4-2.
So did I hear you say at the top of the broadcast the Knights are on a 5-game winning streak?
So the Knights have been playing extremely well lately. We can take a look at their schedule if you'd like. Coming into today, pardon me, they had won 4 of 5, and now 5 of 6. And today would be 6 of 7, and then have 4 in a row with Manor College, Eastern State Athletic Conference rivals, before a single game, a 9-inning game at Albright on Tuesday, and then a big game on May the 5th against Bucks County Community College to end the season. But again, still in play after today, Tyler. Should they hold on, they would go to 16-10 and would only need to win 4 of those last 7 games to set the school record for most victories.
So definitely within reach there.
And with that last win, we believe that they have clinched at least a spot in the ESAC championship game, as well as if they could get on a real tear, potentially going back to the Small College World Series. And the Youngins issues
exciting.
a free pass, and we may, there's still a couple of people warming, we may see another pitcher here if Youngins can't
Now
retire the
batting
next
number
batter.
1, Romans.
And the wind is all but died at this point, which is good because it's awfully chilly out. And there's the bunt.
Yeah, it's a nice bunt.
Great play by Haefner to get them out at first, but the runners do both advanced.
So safe to say that bunt did its job. Which I'm kind of surprised, being down 7 runs, playing a little small ball here.
I mean, you know, in that particular case, taking it out to put 2 runners in scoring position, I don't necessarily mind that play.
Yeah, you'll take it out anytime you can get it.
Now batting number 11, Thomas Sullivan.
Only 8 more outs the Knights need to get out of here with a doubleheader victory. Tyler, I wanted to ask you, obviously you've been a major part of everything that we have done in terms of broadcasting Knights sports. I mean, you're still one of our go-to commentators for basketball. What are some of the fond memories that you have in all of the games that you've done over the years?
Well, I would just say number one, as always, is working with you guys, being out here, getting to call games. I still will never forget the first game I called there in the net when it was like 40 degrees out, and Knights were able to pull out a win.
Please tell me that was the day when Quentin Heckert threw that crazy one-hitter. You mean the day when I was constantly having to go back to my car because I couldn't feel my hands?
That was the first game I ever worked,
Wow.
and I was wondering at that point, like, is this something I really want to keep doing out in this weather? But
that's one I still talk about, Tyler.
Yep.
I can't believe that was you. Like, I mean, I can believe it, but gosh, I remember that game like it was yesterday.
Gosh, yeah, I think that was 3 or 4 years ago.
No. That would have been
2019, yeah.
Maybe even
You're right.
2018.
That's right.
I think that would have been
can't even believe it.
2018.
Wow. But
Because,
yeah, I mean,
because I remember that team. That was when Fulp was there.
yep. And I will say, too, some of the other games I really liked were the night games, calling the night games at In the Net.
Yeah, we did get out to In the Net one time this year for a makeup contest, and it was a beautiful day. We had the booth. See, the thing about that game, Tyler, that you're talking about,
We didn't have the booth.
we didn't have the
Nope.
booth. We were on
We
field
were
two.
out, we were out in the elements.
Yes, we
Yep.
were out in the elements, and I swear, I went to my car 4 or 5
Mm-hmm.
times to warm up because I literally couldn't feel my hands.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here, Quentin Heckert's throwing a one-hit shutout with 13 strikeouts, and of course I talked to him after the game, and I said, Quentin, could you even feel your hands? He's like, oh yeah, that cold weather doesn't bother me. I'm like, I'm usually not super bothered, but I think it was 38 degrees and freezing
Yep.
rain. How they even played that game, I have no idea.
Probably didn't help us sitting in one position
Right,
and
right.
not moving around.
Of
so
course, but still.
That was something.
The pains of college baseball. And what's interesting is, if you're not super knowledgeable about college baseball, you got to realize that most college baseball schedules start in February, including on the Knights this year, and only go to really the first week of May.
Yeah, especially up here in the Northeast, it can be tough to play this time of year.
Well, Youngin stays in with the bases loaded, and there's a shot to center, and he calls off. And
Go.
good play there, and Boyer comes up with it. A run in, but another out. And trust me, at this point, that's all the Knights really care about.
Take outs any way you can get them at this point, especially with still a 6-run lead.
(10-4) now with the sac fly.
So how many games have you had the opportunity to do over here this year?
I want to say that we're going to clock in at 12 total, and this would be game number 10 from here because we did 2 from In the Net. There was one game that was here that was moved to like a 10 a.m. because there was afternoon rain that I couldn't attend, and of course the final game will be Sunday at East Penn, which I'm also unable to attend. But that being said, we were able, special thanks to you, to call every single men and women's home basketball game this season.
That's awesome.
Including another 12 contests for our baseball team as well. So we are extremely pleased with the way that things have been going in terms of calling our sports. And again, you can hear us back in November for basketball. So as soon as that schedule gets announced, Tyler, I will make sure to have you in for a couple of games.
Definitely looking forward to that. I know that time of year we'll be here again before we know it.
Before you know it. And Youngins has got to be careful here. 1 strike away from getting out of this inning.
I got that.
10-4 Gotta make sure. All right. Haefner bluffs to first. I don't think he was going to pull the trigger there on that one.
Yeah, at this point with 2 outs, you don't want to focus too much on the base runners. Just get the guy at the plate out.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Almost goes into the Christendom dugout.
As they like to say, deuces are wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Let's try to end this inning here before Christendom can score any more runs.
And there go the runners, and that ball is out of play. Beautiful evening here on the island, still over 60 degrees, and just a couple of more outs until the Knights potentially close out their home season here at FNB.
Right, this really is a beautiful night when the wind's not blowing.
Yes.
See, you know.
I think that was part of my issue earlier, was that it was pretty windy and it cooled it off. And now that those lights are kicking on, we get a nice view of the field.
Yep.
We'll switch over to that here at the break. Just remind you why it's so nice to be calling these games here with the Hall of Famers. So 3 Nightly News Hall of Famers on tonight's broadcast.
What a night. What a broadcast to have all of us on.
I
It's
know.
Such an awesome experience.
I tried to line it up that way. And so glad to be here with all of you out there in internet land. And another shot to center. And another put out, and that will retire the side. And the Knights are only 6 outs away from a doubleheader sweep. We're going to go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Knights lead 10. Back here with you, Paul Miller, and Nightly News Hall of Famer, Tyler Coleman. Knights 10-4, and here's Zach Boyer. And there's a shot between first and second base for the base hit. I still can't get over the fact that that game was with you, because that's a game that, Tyler, that I talk about all the time. about how that, seriously, no questions asked.
I think that's when Dylan Kleintop and I were working on the project together.
Now batting
That
number
was
can't remember.
the worst
Yeah,
game
that was,
to call, by far.
That's
Like, that wasn't even
it's one
close.
thing you'll never forget it, though.
No. And it makes you appreciate a night like this. I will say our first game that we called this season was in the mid-40s. And it's always brisk over here at the island. Harvey McLean getting in today. McLean has pitched mainly this season. Hasn't really gotten to swing a whole lot. McLean only 10 at-bats on the season, but is hitting 400 and does have a home run and 7 RBI.
Hey, you'll take that anytime.
100%. Yeah, one of the things that we did have a chance to talk to Coach Stern about, that he's gone to much more of a pitching staff versus an offensive staff. Now, it's not to say there aren't some two-way players. Cam Smiley comes to mind. There are some two-way players, but McLean has spent a fair amount of time in the bullpen as well. McLean has pitched in 2 games this season as well. Big swing and ease. Down on strikes is McLean. 1 out.
Now batting number 13, Nick Joseph.
It'd be interesting to see how the Knights set up their starting rotation with back-to-back days of doubleheaders.
Well, they've got 5 games in 3 days, and that's I think, partially the concern here because Kohler pitched Tuesday and then Zerby. However, Zerby left the game with an injury, which is why Boyer, I believe, got the start today. Kozer pitched today, so I would imagine he wouldn't pitch until next week. So I'm not really sure. It might just be sort of a piecemeal type of thing,
Yeah.
and for 4 really important games that the Knights need.
It's got some tough decisions to make.
Pitching change here for Christendom. This will be number 21, John Hill. And John Hill has pitched in 3 contests this season. He's pitched in 4 2/3 innings, allowing 8 earned runs for a 15.43 ERA.
Wow, so it sounds like another pitcher that maybe the offense could get to a little bit.
Well, if the Knights put up 4 more runs, this game is over. So, nothing like walking it off at home for a 10-run roll.
Take that all day long.
(10-4). Knights lead as John Hill comes in. Looks like sort of a off-speed specialist. Joseph on deck, followed by Bruce. Knights only need 6 more outs.
Comes our good friend Brian again.
Oh, buddy.
Nightly News Hall of Famer Brian Cristiano.
Can you just call me Brian, man? Just call me Brian.
Just the fact that it annoys you is going to make me call you that more often.
Just call me Brian, man. I'm just Brian. You know, like I said in Barbie, it's just I'm Ken, I'm Brian. Oh, well, you got bigger fish next to you, man.
No, you were the first Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No, he was not. Norm Geary was the first Hall of Famer, as well as Dr.
Oh,
Linda
sorry, you
Fedrizzi
were
Williams.
ahead of us.
Not first. There's another adjective to describe it. Best.
Inside. We are trying to call a game here, sir.
Sorry. Tyler's trying to make fun of me.
Joseph takes a first pitch ball.
I just wanted to say thank you guys before I get ready to leave.
No, thank you, Brian.
You guys did a great job. It means a lot. What you guys are doing for the team and the community. Ooh,
There's a shot to center.
this is like watching Little League baseball. Not gonna lie though.
It's been a tough day for Christendom, but we have to
Yeah, it is.
maintain a level of professionalism.
Brian,
that
you're
is
not going to hang
professional.
around for the rest of the game?
No, I gotta go.
Oh, I know. You
Gotta
have
go
busy
watch
schedule.
The WWE draft. Sorry, Ty, we don't watch AEW. We watch the big league wrestling.
You don't watch real wrestling.
No, we watch the big league.
Well, why don't you go do that and let us continue calling this game?
Yeah, sorry, Paul. You know, we gotta keep it professional, unlike you. Great seeing you guys.
All right,
In all
buddy, thank
seriousness,
you.
I'll talk to you.
Now batting number 35, Dominic Bruce.
10-4, 1 out here in the the bottom of the 5th. Knights threaten again as Bruce up to the plate. Just gets a piece. Two strike count for Bruce.
So if they play single games, is it 9 innings or is
Yes.
it always 7?
Yep.
It's
If
9.
it is a single header, as it were, there are 9-inning games. So that game coming up on Tuesday at Albright is a 9-inning game. You can understand why they play double headers. They have so few gates to play. You know, if you're gonna make the trek.
You know, the weather is a problem and games get canceled.
And we had a lot of that this year. There were a lot of postponements.
So do they try to make all those games up
Yes.
or really just what's needed?
For the most part. I mean, there's also sort of a hard deadline. It's almost like the tournament has a date. So
have
all
to
those
have
games
everything in
have
by
to be
then.
made up by a certain period of time if you want them to count as regular season and not exhibition. Right back at it. Us almost made it over. We've never actually had one come back here, but there have been a few close calls.
That one was close.
I mean, that would have went.
Now that
probably
you
10
said
rows
it, it
deep.
might happen.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bruce keeps a good eye. Full count. John Hill from Spring, Texas, the sophomore. And what will Bruce do here? He will walk him.
Bases loaded.
And that will load the bases for Zach Haefner.
About a little grand slam here to walk it off.
Haefner has doubled with 2 RBIs and walked, and then flew out to the first baseman. And Hill delivers. And I'll tell you what, that would be definitely a send-off for Haefner. He has hit some round trippers before, and I'm sure he would love nothing more than to close this
man.
contest out.
Anytime you come up to hit with the bases loaded, you know that's got to be in the back of your mind.
Does get the called strike on the outside corner. I'm assuming that was a fastball. And Haefner fouls that one off to run the count to 1-2. Still some action in the Knights bullpen. Let's see who's going to come out to pitch the 5th. Haefner wanted to swing at that one
he
bad,
did. That
but
one
laid
was,
off.
That was hanging up there a little bit.
Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Outside, runs the count full. Nowhere to put him.
Might walk in a run here.
Look at him right there. Look at him.
And Haefner's going to foul that one back and out of play.
Over.
Just a beautiful evening it ended up being here once, as Tyler mentioned, that wind slowed down a bit.
Beautiful night before the heat comes later this week.
And Haefner
Walking in a
will
run.
walk, and that's as good for an RBI.
Now batting number 7, Brian Lowen.
Take RBIs any way you can get them. There's a shot back up the
right
middle.
back up the
Yep.
middle. He's got a shot at a double play here, and that will retire the side.
Nice play.
But not before the Knights tack on another one to make it 11-4. And we will go to the top of the 6th. The Knights only need 6 more outs to get out of here with a doubleheader sweep. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back. Back here with you, top of the 6th inning. Harvey McLean in the game. Finky, nice play.
Nice. That was
Thumbs
nice.
up with it. Finky, great play out in front. I'm confused by the bunt.
Trying to get base runners however they can, I guess.
suppose so.
I thought maybe they were going to catch the Knights off guard with it. But Hunter Finke was ready.
As I mentioned, Harvey McLean in this contest and has pitched in a couple of games this year. That's going to be out of play. Didn't quite reach the seats. About 3/4 of the way down the first base line. 11-4. Knights have dominated, I think is a fair word here, wouldn't you say, Tyler?
I mean, I would say so. Christendom jumped out to 3-0 lead, and the Knights have outscored them 11-1 since. So,
and that was honestly really concerning, and it wasn't really anything the Boyer did. They were just
little bit of sloppy plays. They had a ball behind home plate here that could have been caught. Ball out in right field that was misplayed. So, but like I said, Boyer did a nice job bouncing back.
McLean thought he had that one, but unfortunately the umpire didn't see eye to eye with him. 2 balls and 1 strike to Reese. Whoa, and he hit him. Almost hit him with the pitch 2 pitches previous. Did catch him there. And speaking of getting base runners any way you can, there's one way.
He'll take hit by pitches. Not necessarily the first way you'd want to get on, but when you need runs, you take it however you can.
I mean, at least he caught him with an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, as we conclude our final broadcast, we just want to thank all of our viewers for sticking with us all season. Thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. So I would like to just really thank all of you, and certainly all of you watching on demand, not live. Thank you so much for your continued support. We really appreciate the support that we have. That's why we know we're doing a good job. And all the kind words. I got stopped by a couple of different parents today, told us about how much they appreciate our broadcasts, which really means a lot.
I mean, from where the broadcasting started and where it's at now, I mean, it's so fantastic to see the improvements and everything that's been going on. So happy for the club and the school in general, just being able to do this.
And like I said, Tyler, we really look forward to having you back calling basketball this year. Maybe we can recreate last year's Nightly News Hall of Fame only, folks. Calling a game.
Calling a game with Brian. That was a lot of fun. Might have to try to get Parker on for a game now that he's in the area.
That's going to be a tough play, but Bruce comes all the way up with it. He can still make the out at first. Lost the ball and was going to second to try to get the lead runner. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it, but had the wherewithal to pick it back up and run back to first for the out. And it seems like forever ago Musso started this game. But Amuso's still in there. And that's going to be a tough play. Fulton's got a long run, but nice basket catch.
Yeah.
Fantastic effort by Fulton. And that will retire the side, and the Knights only need 3 more outs, Tyler, to close this one out. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you here. Back here with you, Paul Miller and Tyler Coleman, to take you for the last Knights at bat, hopefully, in this game. As Nick Fulton steps in, made a great basket catch in the last half of the inning, top of the 6th. He had to range quite a distance to his right in order to make that catch.
Nice job tracking the ball, because he was going to be the only one that was going to be able to catch it. So
11 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Knights. 4 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors for Christendom. Quickly 3-0, and we see Montero on deck, who's had quite the game. 3 for 4 with an RBI and a steal. Does get the strike call. And again, another, it's a sad day here for all of the seniors. One of those seniors, Kevon Davis, did leave this first game injured, and we wish Kevon the best. That's going to be out of play, just into the first row. And back comes the breeze.
Can always be a tough day as a senior. You know you're going into your last home game.
It's got to be
But
bittersweet.
Yeah. It's just sometimes why it's so hard to enjoy in the moment, because time goes so fast.
Fulton walks. Montero has had a huge game. Hits in the first, second, and third innings. Not too often you can say that.
Yeah, how many times can you say you hit in each of the first 3 innings? Have at bats, let alone get hits.
And scored in 2 of the 3. Montero has really had a great spot.
Ooh.
He got hit right in the back. So runs down to first.
Seen a few hit by pitches in this game.
Nobody out. Now Brown comes up. Robert Brown, still looking for his first base hit on the season. Now would be a good time. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Tough not to swing at that one. And Zach Boyer is on deck, and gosh, he may have an amazing opportunity here to clear the bases.
Really, yep. May have a chance to end the game.
Went behind us
With the pitcher's reaction, you thought he had a chance to catch it. Yeah.
I just don't have the catcher looked at him like,
He's like,
it's up, and the catcher's like,
I don't see it.
I thought it was
2 strikes to Brown. It's going to be outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning on community night, as the Knights are just 3 outs away from closing out this doubleheader. And big cut. Strikes out Brown. But that will bring up Zach Boyer.
Now batting number 14, Zach Boyer.
Boyer has reached base 3 times and scored twice. A single, a walk, and a hit by pitch. And he could send the Knights home with a round tripper. But first, that would require the pitcher to throw the ball across the plate.
It would. Yep. 3-run homer here to end it, and that'd be a way to send you out.
That would be poetic.
Yep. Way to wrap up community night here.
Got the strike call. I mean, for somebody who's used to hitting off pretty high velocity, it's got to be very difficult to come in and face someone who's throwing, frankly, so slowly.
Slower, yep. Yeah,
They had him at second.
That can definitely throw you off your game.
Certainly a historic day with 3 Nightly News Hall of Famers on the broadcast, as well as 2 current color commentators as well. And Boyer's just looking for something to hit here.
Throw that hanger right over the middle of the plate.
Two balls and 1 strike to Boyer with only 1 out. And there it was. That's going to be fair down the first base line. That's going to score 1. Montero motors around. He doesn't even look to see if he's got the go sign. And Boyer's in there with the triple.
2-run triple. What a beautiful piece of hitting. Just like that, it's 13-4 Knights. So now
and McLean, all he has to do is hit a sacrifice fly. What a play by Zach Boyer.
So let's see
Now
if
the Knights lead by 9.
see if McLean can walk it off here in a sense.
I mean, I suppose anytime you have a hit in the game is then over, that technically
That's-
counts as a walk-off,
Yeah.
right? Even in a 10-run rule scenario. He was looking
Big
for it.
swing, yep.
He was trying to hit that and the others to the west shore.
Yeah, he was. Looks like he had a 3-0 light.
Ooh, just gets a piece of that. Foul. Runs the count full.
Looked like that was almost in on him a little bit.
And it looks like there's some people out in the pen who are looking for an opportunity. They may not get it.
I think if you're the Knights, you'll take that, having to use one less pitcher to save them for the rest of your games.
100%. When you've got 5 games coming up in a 3-day span, you're going to try to save as many bullets as possible. And here's Nick Joseph. Joseph has had quite the day. He had a single and scored in the first, was hit by a pitch, and then had a sac fly back in the third. McLean will come out for the courtesy runner. And it'd be nice to see Nick Joseph walk it off. Big hack. Couple of quick games here. The first game rang in at about an hour and 45 minutes. This one's just over 2.
Seemed like this game is making up for the quick first one a little bit.
Well, I would say actually the average games that I've caught are between 2:15 and 2.5. So
Oh, wow.
actually both these games are on the short side. And that's going to be out number 2. Does move the runner. And can Bruce end it? Dominic Bruce.
Now batting number 35, Dominic Bruce.
As the Knights lead by 9. Of course, you can always keep up with what the Knights have going on the rest of the season on centralpennknights.com.
Another big swing.
And follow what the Knights are up to over these next few days. These crucial 4-game set. Home for 2 on Sunday with Manor, and then they'll travel to Manor on Monday. Of course, they'll have tomorrow off. Rest some of those pitchers. And then 4-2 and 5-3 before ending at Bucks County Community College next weekend.
Yeah, talk about a lot of games in such a short span.
It's the strike call.
Is there a specific reason why they're playing at East Penn on Sunday?
It was
there-
it was a makeup game.
Makeup.
It was to be played here. Unfortunately, because of the Senators' schedule, FNB was not available for a Sunday afternoon game, so it did have to be played in an alternate site, which is part of the reason that I will not be there because of prior commitments. I'm the commissioner of the Senior Challenger Baseball League, and that's when we play on Sundays. Over at Fiala Field. And he skies that to the moon. It's going to be a tough play.
It dropped.
And that is going to do it.
Wow.
He dropped the ball.
What a finish to this game.
And certainly not what the doctor ordered here. But either way, the Knights will walk it off in this 14-4 victory. And the Knights are able to close it out. We are going to try to get the nightly news. We have co-players of the game here, both with the first name of Zach. One, the starting pitcher, Zach Boyer. The other, his battery mate, Zach Haefner. And we are going to see if we can get them down here on the field in just a minute. Tyler, any closing parting thoughts here as we get out of here with a wonderful Knights victory?
Always fun to be here. Such a great night to be out here with you guys. Fantastic to see the Knights sweep the doubleheader. Hopefully they'll keep the momentum rolling into their final few games of the season. And I appreciate you having me on. It's been fun to be here with you guys. And good luck to the Knights the rest of the way.
And always remember, you can check out centralpennknights.com for all of the information about the teams. We're going to try to see if we can't get the two Zachs down here for a post-game interview. But congratulations to the Knights on winning both of these contests. We're going to take a short break. Well, I appreciate that. It looks like the Knights have gone and it's been celebrating in there. We want to congratulate Zach Haefner and Zach Boyer on winning the Nightly News co-players of the game. We're going to get out of here. For Paul Miller, for Tyler Coleman, we'll see you again next year on Knights Baseball.